Traditionally, boards have met in boardrooms, but increasingly there's an expectation that directors will get out of the boardroom and will be on the ground more to enhance their visibility and their accessibility. And there's great reasons to do that, for boards to get out of the boardroom and to meet on site in various locations from which the company operates. Really enhances directors' knowledge of the business, so they learn more about how the business operates. It assists them in their workplace health and safety duties as well, because they're seeing the operations firsthand. Of course, it's also a great way to engage with employees and understand the culture of the organisation, which is pretty hard to do when you're only sitting in a boardroom. But of course, the board meeting in places other than, say, head office comes at a cost. Cost of transport for directors, executives, board support officers, and there might be costs associated with room hire, etc. So you want to make sure that the benefits outweigh that cost. And I thought I'd talk about a couple of practices I've seen in that regard, because one of the traps that some boards fall into is they get the board to meet off-site, they go to the cost, but then the board just sits inside a room in another location. So the ways to overcome that, I think, if the whole board's travelling to a site, is think about other activities that you can do. Can it be a morning tea with employees, for example? A board dinner with local managers the night before the board meeting? Having a couple of stakeholder engagement events around the board meeting, and that can be a really useful way for the board to hear firsthand from stakeholders, and stakeholders to get to obviously know the company and the board a little bit better. Having a careful board briefing paper supporting all those activities is really important. Another practice I've seen takes a slightly different approach. So that basically involves separating board meetings from stakeholder visits. A board I worked with recently did this, where over the course of the year, they thought about which sites did they want to visit, and then they arranged for 2 or 3 directors to be nominated to visit those sites. Indeed, that practice worked really well. It meant that there could be more coverage of sites, and also the engagement was a little bit more informal and perhaps a little bit more genuine, because there is a risk that when a whole board turns up to a site, it's on its very best show, and perhaps that loses some of the authenticities that you might get otherwise. So some food for thought: where should your board meet?